We're continuing our conversation with Carol Martin from Martin Management Incorporated, and Carol went through some of the LinkedIn features that many people aren't aware of at this time, and then give us maybe a little better picture of how you can use LinkedIn maybe in some different areas, whether, like a site search maybe for individuals and companies or specific companies, or, I guess show us some other tools that might be useful.
Okay. What I'll show you, Russ, is how to use LinkedIn to find people who work for a specific company. So why don't we use Kraft Foods? It's a company I've placed with many times throughout my career. And very general, let's just look for an engineer and see what we come up with. Okay, there are 51 engineers with Kraft in our search. Now you can narrow this down by using keywords if they need to have PLCs. You can also go current or past members. So these people are either current or past. You can go by location. You can enter an area code. You can go out. I can't use the function here yet. You need to use it on the advanced page site. But you can go as far as 100 miles. So my recommendation is always start in advanced search with a broad search and then whittle it down. Now, one thing you will need to remember when doing LinkedIn, but especially doing site search once we get into that, and also using LinkedIn Name Finder, everything needs to be precise. So what we're going to do is copy Associate Director. We're going to copy, go into Bing, and in quotation marks, you will copy and paste that string. Now, once again, we are tapping into the public profile, and there she is. Now, as I told you before, the public profile, you have access to many, many, many more pieces of information. She graduated at a unique university, Christian Brothers. If you graduated there and you're looking for a job within Kraft, she might be a good contact. Let's look at her profile again on LinkedIn. And this is all we get. So again, the power of site search, the ability to tap into all LinkedIn members, free of charge. Now, Russ, there is another site I'm using, Glassdoor. Did you want me to introduce this at this point?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Glassdoor and the advantages of it, that type of thing.
Okay. Glassdoor it's just an educational site. It's got a little bit of everything. And the advantage for anyone looking for a job is inside information. As you can see, our choices, jobs, you can find jobs from specific companies, companies and reviews, salaries, interviews. So once again, I'll pick on Kraft Foods. And as I said earlier, in a job search, information is power. If you can talk to a hiring authority, oh, well, okay. If you can talk to a hiring authority and know inside information, he's going to realize and understand that you're serious, that you've thoroughly researched the company. So, starting with jobs, if you are interested, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to back up, Russ.
Oh, it's fine. Stop.
We'll go back to Kraft. One thing in internet searching, and I think this is a good time to discuss it, is everything needs to be perfect. So hopefully in this, as we search, we should find jobs at Kraft, and there they are. Kraft Foods, Kraft Foods. So as you see, what happened was I had it typed in, but it automatically entered my address, which is Watertown, Wisconsin. And because there are no Krafts, of course, there were no jobs. So bear in mind, if you do not get your results, you're doing something wrong. And it can be as simple as a space or a comma that was inadvertently left in. So bear that in mind. Kraft definitely has a lot of jobs. Now, same company, let's talk about salaries. Okay, and here is just a few of the examples that Kraft has. A sales rep, 37, senior brand manager, 101. It'll just give you an idea, okay, so I'm interviewing as an engineer, what kind of salaries is Kraft paying for engineers? And you can go more in depth into this site. There are 448 salaries. The chances are what you're looking for could be in there. And granted, you know, we're going to keep it brief right now. This is a biggie, company reviews.
It also, excuse me, looking at that, it also gives you a salary range too, so a person can actually, from my perception of this anyway, that you could take and get a pretty good idea what salaries are going to be within that company, get a range of where they're going to come in at, and you can compare one company to the next by doing that.
Right. And you know, one of the primary questions I answer for entry-level grads, I take them through an entire interview, and then the question, what kind of money are you looking for? And it's just dead. And they say, well, I don't know. Well, this way, they have the opportunity to go online and see what companies are paying for their specific job, human resources supervisor, project engineer. They can find out what the company pays. So when they're interviewing and the hiring authority says, well, John, tell me what you're looking for, you know where to put your answer. I'm looking for 55 to 65,000, realizing that's well within the parameters this company has. It makes you sound more intelligent, better prepared if you know exactly what you're looking for. So again, Kraft Foods, more about the company, and you can just go on awards. There's just tons and tons of information you can find out about Kraft Foods. Interviews, and this one I think is priceless. Oh, we got to put a Kraft back up. Okay. Now, interviewing is very difficult for most, especially new grads. You know, you've been preparing for your major for years, learning the skills necessary for your trade. But in many cases, unless you're like me, a communications major, the time to present your skills, the phone screen, the interview, you may not have the polish or understand completely what the company will ask or what they're looking for. On this site, you can find out what 35 interview questions and reviews. And these are written by people who have gone through the interview process. So once again, you can see the value of tapping into Glassdoor to find out some of the things you'll be asked. Well, Mike, what are you looking for? What are your strong points? Boy, preparation and the ability to answer those questions with confidence, that's what brings in the job offers. Russ, did you have anything else to add or questions?
Sure. You know, one of the things that I didn't do a lot of entry-level positions, you know, through the years, and then I had a couple of organizations that really, and I think, you know, when you mentioned the trend of where we're going, we're seeing that trend definitely increase where employers are searching for new graduates. But what seems to be lacking is individuals, even though they have a outplacement program within their company, or not their company, within the college, that type of thing, and they do some preparation, what we're finding is they're not really hitting on what employers are really looking for. And so one of the things that, one of the reasons that we developed the Directional Motivation site is to hopefully bridge that gap. And we're going to have a lot more services and tools for individuals to use as we go forward. But we're finding in the feedback that we get from employers, they're going, wow, a lot of the new grads are just not prepared for the interview at all. And so I think, you know, a service like Directional Motivation is really good. Yeah, I'm going to plug this site. You know, it's okay because we're trying to help people. But the other thing is looking at these questions and getting prepared for questions. A lot of what employers are looking for in their, or that they use in their questioning, is behavior-based interviewing questions. Tell us about a time which you did this. Tell us about a time which you made a decision. What factors did you put into play to make that decision? Where have you failed? What did you learn from it? Those types of questions. And if you go into an interview and you're not prepared for these, you're going to fail miserably. Because trying to think of clear-cut examples off the top of your head does not work. And so this is just one of the services we provide, but the Glassdoor here is an excellent resource for that. If going into a company knowing probably the areas they're going to hit on. I always tell candidates when I'm preparing them, I don't know for sure, the exact questions that they're going to ask, but we get a pretty good idea of where they're trending towards, and so you can prepare and have these examples ready, at your fingertips, basically.
You're absolutely right, Russ. The presentation is everything. My biggest disappointments, and this has happened a number of times, is looking at the perfect resume, 3.8 GPA, 3 internships, and I get them on the phone and the presentation is terrible. And even with that powerful resume, this person will not be strong enough to make it through an interview process. So your website, Directional Motivation, really is a must for people coming out of college. And I think managers and directors in career centers should make every chance to make the site available to their graduates.
Another thing that I'm working on right now, and this I've written one book on how to get a raise, but the other book that's coming is how to interview in today's competitive marketplace, what employers are wanting to hear. And that's a book that is going to the editor this week, and we should have that for publication here shortly. And I would encourage our audience to get a copy of that, because we talk about a lot of different things in terms of how to brand yourself, how to have basically your elevator speech put together, things that are going to really differentiate yourself in the marketplace. And believe me, using these skills will really separate yourself from others. And so that's what we're really shooting for, is things to help you in the interview process.
And
some other thoughts? Go ahead.
Well, new grads need to understand that this first job they get, this is where their career will take off. If you start at a very powerful, strong job, good location, good company, good money, your career will only build from there to bigger and better. If your first job is, well, I'm taking it to need employment, well, your career starts there. So the difference between starting on the fast track and then just tagging along to pay the rent is huge. And it's not just GPA and internships and degree, it's the ability to sell your skills verbally. So it's absolutely important for them to use the resources available to be the very best they can. This is the biggest speech of their life.
It brings me back to, of course, I've had several conversations through the years, a lot of conversations with individuals that say, well, I came out of Purdue, for instance. And I said, okay. Well, I came out of Purdue, and I have a degree from Purdue. That's one of the premier colleges out there. Yes, it is. But that's good. But can you present yourself in the marketplace? Because just because you have a degree, just you have the pedigree, doesn't mean a thing to an employer, unless you can take and bring the value to light as far as what you can bring to the table for that employer. Very, very, very key. And it comes back, like you're saying, to the communication skills, the presentation skills, that type of thing. How about some other thoughts as far as Glassdoor? Any other things that we should be aware of here that might be advantageous for our listeners?
What I would recommend, and this is how I learn, when I find new techniques, it's just basically through playing on the internet. There is a wealth of information on this site, and I think to best utilize time right now, www.glassdoor.com. Take some time and just play with it. Enter different companies. See what's available in your location. Just try the different selections for the salaries, interviews, jobs. Play with the site. Basically, that's how you'll learn and possibly stumble upon something that I couldn't show you. So, yeah, be creative. Go in there and find out what's there.
You know, another thing that I think people should be aware of is there's also negative reviews on the companies, and it's kind of good to know. It doesn't mean that the negative reviews that it's the wrong company for you, but you need to know what's being said, because one person's personality matches extremely well with another company, whereas, you know, another one wouldn't, and so that's very important to know as well. You know, another part of this is the value of mentorships and things like that. We go into that a lot in some of the other audios that we've done as well. Another area that I really encourage for new graduates especially coming out is what type of training skills does a company provide and how are they ranked? A lot of times you can go out on the internet and you can find the rankings for particular companies. Do they have that foundation or those systems in place to help you build a foundation to your career? Sometimes companies will pay more money, but they don't have that. So a person might make more money initially entering the marketplace with another company, but they don't have the tools to really solidify that foundation. And so I always encourage individuals to really weigh that out. What are you looking for? Are you looking for something that's really going to build the foundation that will help you succeed and go right on past with others? Or, you know, are you comfortable coming out with, you know, maybe more dollars initially, you know, that type of thing. So a lot of factors to consider in when you're looking at different positions.
You know, and another aspect to consider as well, there are many, many big names out there, General Electric, Procter & Gamble, and they do offer wonderful training programs and opportunity. However, don't dismiss smaller companies. They also offer opportunity, but just consider every GE engineer is top of the class, and they have hundreds of engineers. And to take that promotion to get to manager of engineering, your competition is absolutely steep. A smaller company or mid-sized company may only have 5 project engineers, and your opportunity to grow to manager, to director, to VP is actually a bit stronger. So look at all sized companies, medium, large, small, whatever. Research the company and see if indeed a fast track to management is there, or if you want that big name, of course, realize that you've got a lot more competition to be considered for upper level management. Very, very true.
Well, Carol, I appreciate you taking time today, and we're certainly going to have you back on different segments as we go forward. But I trust for your listeners that this has been of value to you. You can certainly email me at russ@directionalmotivation.com with questions that you might have, and I can certainly forward these on to Carol as well. But really appreciate you taking time today to share these thoughts with us.
Thank you very much, Russ. I really did enjoy sharing the information with you.